podcast, Beach Volleyball with Triborn and Travis Mewurder, brought to you by our guys at Wilson, our guys at Volleyball Mag. We got pod snacks from Chomps.
Yep.
And we have Miss Brooke Sweat in the house.
Hello.
How we doing?
What up, bro?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to the set.
I love it.
We waited to get the nice set before we got you on.
I appreciate that.
We knew you wouldn't have.
No.
You wouldn't have come on.
I wouldn't have
otherwise.
sat at the dining room table. Too nice.
Yeah. Now we have. We're overlooking the pier at 6 at night, and
It's so bright out.
Still bright out.
It's really nice.
Sun's
I love
not quite
it.
going down yet.
It's hilarious how many people have asked me like where we are.
No.
So many people. Because in a
Yeah,
picture,
a lot.
like it looks like when I sent the picture to Dave Mays, he was like, "Holy cow! Like, what happens when the sun like gets lower? Does it flood the room?" I was like, "We haven't dealt with that problem yet."
Really? Wow, we should not be telling people that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks
Pretty cool.
pretty
Whose idea?
Gabby's.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pod mama takes care of us. She was the one who built this whole set. So
Yeah, I had
so.
some ideas.
I contributed
You did?
nothing. It was this is the Bourne Castle.
No,
cool.
it was mostly her. All right. I'll admit it. Yeah.
She did good.
Yeah. You know, we Sandcast's been pulling in so much money these days. We decided to buy some real estate overlooking the Manhattan Beach Pier and the
Yeah.
Strand.
Man, I wish Nick was doing business out here.
Yeah.
Work with him.
We should. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway.
But how is your off season / is it preseason yet? Technically, I don't really know where the dividing line is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but
I feel like we went from off season to now it's preseason, right?
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
so we did Vegas and Mexico, and then I had some procedures done on my knee, so I've just kind of been like getting back into it. And then we had the Hague, and then like we just haven't stopped though.
Yeah.
Like we're we have a plan, and we're just following that plan. So we're practicing every day, and we've been practicing every day for the last few months. So it feels good to be out there, but.
Did you practice every day before partnering up with Kerri?
We would take like Wednesdays off, or
So 4 days a week?
yeah.
Yeah.
With Kerri, we're 4 to 5 days,
Okay.
depending on the week. So yeah,
Sweet.
it's a lot. I love it.
Yeah, we see you guys a little ways down from us.
Yeah,
Getting after
I'm
it.
always peeking down there. Like, are the girls beating the guys yet, or
Not
I
quite.
enjoyed the
quite.
co-ed match. You
That'll
guys
be
have to
bad.
live stream the next one.
Oh, we
that you
should.
have like you and
Yeah.
Sarah versus Summer
we
and
should.
Trevor, whatever
We
it is.
did some no jump and then some hataria, which is like Jose's Brazilian game, where it's just like the ugliest game of volleyball ever.
I think I saw parts of that. It was
Yeah.
pretty ugly.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
He like wants you to like throw it, like catch it and like throw it all weird. I don't know. It's
Brazilians.
fun. Yeah, Brazilians. you gotta just keep them entertained, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean, we all have Brazilian coaches now, right?
Yeah, I guess we're technically working with a pretty similar staff because then I work with Marcos and R2
Yeah.
and Leandra at P1440, and then you have Marcio, and then when Marcio's at Pepperdine, Marcos.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love having all of those guys to work with. You know, when Marcio's not there, Marco steps in, and it's definitely a different coaching style than I've had in the past. Not saying it's better or worse or whatnot, just different. And I love the Brazilian way, and we're getting lots of touches right now. A ton of touches right now.
So many touches with Brazilian practice.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
so many. I mean, we're dead by the end of it, or halfway through it, we're dead. But I'm enjoying this new style, and really looking forward to how it, translates into matches and games and to the rest of the season.
Yeah, and so what's the schedule look like for you guys? I know that we've talked to a couple teams who have been on after Fort Lauderdale was canceled, and I know that for some teams that was sort of a relief that their season got started a little bit later, and some of them it kind of screwed them up because it got canceled after the Hague registration was closed.
Yeah.
So what did it change your schedule at all, or is it just one less event?
For us, it's just one less event. Just with both our injury situations, I lost a ton of points from my injury. And
They didn't get frozen?
No.
Oh, man.
You get like what, 70% back?
If you use injury points, yeah.
Oh.
You come back and it's like you get 75%, and then the next tournament you get 50% plus your previous tournament.
Yeah.
But I came back like too soon to use injury points.
Right.
So yeah, I was just going off my few finishes that I had.
Oh, damn.
And then with Fort Lauderdale being canceled, I'm dropping third place from last year from Fort Lauderdale and not picking up any points.
Oh.
So that's sucky for us, but we were planning on playing everything anyways. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be hitting every stop to start with, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, you guys played well in Mexico, though. So I'm sure that was nice to get a decent finish in a 3-star.
Yeah, that was good. It was, my second tournament back, and knees and shoulders still not at 100%. So just working with what I had. And we played Brandy and Heather in the semifinals. And it was kind of a battle there at the end of the first and some of the second. So not being 100% yet, and not really me and Kerri being on our best game yet. We were happy with third place there. Always want to win, but we'll take it. And then we were playing really good in The Hague. Just had a little hiccup that we didn't bounce back from, but really excited about our progress as a team and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really curious about the team you played for bronze in Mexico. So I've seen the McNamara twins play at the college level, but they didn't look like intimidated at all playing college girls playing against like one of the best of all time. How are they as competitors, and just like what does their future look like? Because I mean, they're right there hanging.
Yeah, their future's bright for sure. I'm excited for them, and they definitely pushed us and made us uncomfortable there in the first set. So it's really exciting to see what the college game is doing for these girls and what they can do at the next level with it. So the competition is definitely going to get better and better, and at a younger age, and it's going to push people like us, make us, work a little harder, and if we want to stay in this, try to stay a little younger somehow. So it was fun to play against them. They're great girls, come from a great school with some great coaches, so it's neat to see that paying off for them.
Yeah. You mentioned that, not everything was feeling 100% in Mexico, had a slight hiccup in The Hague. How's the body feeling at the current moment? Are you back to almost 100% if you're not there already?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be 100%. I mean, I don't know if anyone ever is, but this is the best my body has felt since like early 2015, before my shoulder injury started. So, but recently I had a knee injury and had to do stem cell and some other procedures on it. So getting over that and feeling really good. So I'm just hoping and praying that me and Kerri can stay healthy. I think that's a big thing for our team, is being healthy. I know we're both doing everything we possibly can to make sure that happens, but it's kind of nice to feel pretty good and not hurting every day, going through practices and trying to play, and it's just frustrating when you're in that situation. So
Totally.
Yeah.
How about your how has your approach changed in terms of staying healthy? Like the amount of training you're doing maybe versus on the sand. Obviously you said you're doing, I'm kind of in the same boat, trying to figure out what the best balance is to stay healthy. But like, are you doing more off the sand nowadays than you were before? Like, what's the strategy there?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm necessarily doing more, but it's just a matter of what I'm doing. As far as like my shoulder stuff, I'm at a point where I can really kind of push it with the weights and really try to get stronger.
Yeah.
Before it's just kind of managing. Like I try to push in the weight room and like my shoulder would flare up, like wouldn't be able to do anything. So now it's to a point where I can really strengthen it. So I go hard there. With my knees, I'm still coming back. So it's a matter of just getting my hips stronger and working on the balancing stuff,
Right.
all of that. So it's just a matter of what I'm doing and not pushing it too much.
Yeah.
You know those surveys we fill out? Do you fill them out for USA Volleyball every day?
Yeah. I don't know, every day.
Come on, try.
I was gonna
I haven't
say,
been
there's
on
no
tour for a
way.
little while. Give me a break.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't watch this, Sean Scott.
So we like fill out like a wellness and our loads every day.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
Okay, well I do that.
Well,
And
because I'm with my trainer in the valley. Is that why? Because you're with.
sure.
All right. Anyway, I'm off the hook.
So it kind of just keeps track of what we're doing, like practicing, conditioning, strength training, and they just kind of keep track of it and seeing like, are you doing too much at once? Like, is this why your knees are flaring up, or you know, is this why your shoulder's hurting? You push it too much here. So getting data from that has really helped too. Just seeing like, oh, like this whole week, like I did way too much. Like, let me back it down a little bit.
Right.
Just stuff like that. In the past, I would just go
Right.
until I couldn't go anymore. So now it's, you know, trying to find a way to monitor these things
Right.
and actually do something with the data and not just say, yeah, it's there, you know,
That's
whatever.
a good idea.
So just little things like that. I have a new strength coach too. I'm not working out at the USA facility since Anthony left.
Right.
So I'm really enjoying that and just doing different things and switching it up. I
Is
think,
it a similar, or is it same trainer as Kerri, or no? Your own?
yeah, my own trainer from back home.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, me and Kerri, we do the pillar principles together. I don't know if you've seen that on Instagram, but as far as strength training, we do our
Okay.
own
got it.
things. So
What's
yeah.
the pillar of principles?
I don't know how to describe
Yeah.
it.
It sounds like a P1440 thing, because right, isn't that their pillar?
It does sound like
Pillars
something like they would definitely espouse for sure.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I think he goes to those and does some stuff at the 1440 events. Basically, it's like, I don't know.
It's a story. We'll have to
Can
get
you
that
look
guy on.
it up? Look it up on Instagram.
Yeah. Look it up, people.
Yeah, pillar principles. But it's basically using my body how it should be used, making sure, you know, everything's stacked right and moving right, and
Like balancing it out and that kind of thing.
yeah. So it's been really fun learning about my body like
That's
that. Yeah, Kerri got me hooked on that.
Of course.
So yeah,
I'm
some
gonna
good
have to
stuff.
check that out.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I like it. And we also had Chad on last week.
Oh, Chad.
Good old Chad. Good old Chad Boshaw.
Yeah.
I almost called him Beauchamp, but I remember you told me it
yeah.
was different. So
Yeah, you're welcome.
we asked him before.
You didn't trust me?
Well, no, I didn't know. I didn't remember how to say it. But yeah,
Boshaw. Yeah.
Boshaw. And he's gonna be traveling a little bit with you, going to Sydney at least on this trip,
That's right. I
or on
forgot.
this next trip.
Yeah.
What's the strategy there with bringing him on board?
He wants to go.
He
But
made it sound like you wanted it. No.
so I've been going and seeing Chad since 2013.
Yeah.
Kind of when I got out here. And it's just one of those things, like, it's comfort and
Right.
him being around. It's just, if something is tweaked or something, like, I like knowing like he's going to be there and can fix it pretty
Yeah.
much, or tell me what I need to do. And yeah, he's just done so much for me over the last few years. So on trips that he can make it, I like to take him along and use him as much as I can. And if my body feels better, I'm all in. Like,
Right.
I will do whatever it takes
Totally.
to have my body feel good.
Yep.
So Sydney was an easy one for him to go to. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone gets pretty excited when Chad's on that specific trip.
Yeah.
He gets overworked for
Yeah,
sure.
and if he's traveling with me, I'm like, you can't treat
Yeah,
anyone
I
else.
knew it.
Like, mine.
I for sure, yeah. I knew that.
I was like,
sure.
unless people want to like pitch in, like,
Yeah,
you're mine.
exactly.
Last week when we had Chad on, Tri was like, "Listen, what's your price to get you away from
Yeah,
Brooke?"
I was like, I know Brooke is not gonna allow it, but
What'd he say? What'd he say?
you're gonna have to listen.
Is it up yet?
Get us a
teaser.
download. Oh, actually, yeah, it's up.
Chad's will be up.
Because this
and-
is the future.
True.
right now.
Oh yeah.
So Child's will be up on Wednesday the 30th. So
It's not up.
not yet, but when this comes out,
Once the people are listening to this,
Got it.
it will be. We're in the future right
Right.
now.
We're like in February.
Yep.
Okay.
this is like a Zoolander moment. Like they're in the computer.
We're in the future? Oh,
I'm
that's
not seeing
good.
it.
Have you? It's like you've had like a couple injuries that have obviously been nagging for a little bit. Have you always been dealing with injuries for a while? Because you've been an athlete your whole life, or is this more of a recent trend where like the shoulder goes and then the knee goes?
We're now going to take a quick second for a word from our sponsors. And before we do, we just wanted to thank you guys, as always, for listening. You are what keeps the show going on. Now, if you want to do us a huge favor and drop us a review on iTunes or Podbean, we would greatly appreciate it. If not, support our sponsors. They're the ones who also keep the show going, so any support in any way we appreciate. So here's a word from our sponsors on Sandcast. This show has been brought to you by Firefly Recovery. Now, I know that I have done a terrible job with my recovery all season long, which is why I'm a huge fan of Firefly. I always thought recovery, you had to go get a massage, it had to be an hour-long thing, but it doesn't. With Firefly, all you have to do is just strap this thing on to your knee, which is what's been bugging me, and you can strap it on at work, so you can do your recovery while you're getting paid and doing your work. You can strap it on during an airplane, which is exactly what I did on my way to Maryland for New Year's and Christmas. You can bring it on the way back from the plane. You can do it in the car ride. You can recover on the go, doing whatever you want, which is exactly why I love Firefly. It does everything that you would need it to do. It moves the blood flow down there, and you're naturally recovering. You don't need these enormous Normatec boots and be grounded. You can do it on the move, on the go. It's a huge help for me with how much you have to lift and play beach volleyball. I highly recommend Firefly Recovery, so check them out. If you are an athlete, if you are just a weekend warrior looking to get that soreness out of your muscles, Firefly is the way to go. So hit them up at fireflyrecovery.com. Give them a try. I highly recommend it. This podcast is also brought to you by Wilson Volleyball. I know if you've been following beach volleyball players on Instagram lately, there's a lot of complaints about how difficult it is to play with the dreaded Mikasa, which is used on the international tours. But if you're not playing internationally, and if you're not playing P1440, whose season won't be rolling around till late fall anyway, we are back to using the Wilson people, so hallelujah and celebrating that. So if you need a refill on Wilson balls, they are the best balls in the market, and best thing yet, we give you a 20% discount here at Sandcast if you use the discount code WilsonSand. By far the best ball. The college players use it. The AVP uses it. Almost every grassroots tour uses it. The CBVA rocks it. There's a reason that everyone uses Wilson. It's the best ball in the market. Highly recommend you pick up a bag of Wilsons today, especially if you want to use our Wilson code, WilsonSand. So go ahead and get yourself a bag of volleyballs today or any other equipment you might need.
You know, I had knee issues in high school, pretty bad. I had one knee surgery at the end of high school, like senior year, and then another surgery on it my freshman year of college. And it's just kind of always been there. It felt really good for a while after my second surgery, but my shoulder's always been good. And my knee was good after my second surgery, and then 2015, like my shoulder just went, and then my knees have just kind of been one of those things, like it comes and goes, and then right before Vegas, something happened. I'm not sure what, but my knee just blew up and got an MRI in Vegas, and luckily didn't need surgery, but needed to do something, and that's when I did stem cell. But yeah, I feel like it's been something ever since 2015, and I think we all go through injuries, and, you know, look at Tri and what he's been through, but it just sucks. It takes away so much. And when it's like at that level of like where it's taken away from your game so much, it just sucks.
Yeah.
So, but I've been there, and I've played through a lot of pain. And so I'm hoping this is like turning the corner of where I can start playing pain-free again and getting back to my game. Because the last few years, it's just been like doing what you can do, you know. Except one tournament, which was Fort Lauderdale, when I hurt my shoulder again. That tournament, I felt so good until I hurt it, obviously. But yeah, so I hope this is the time, like I'm turning the corner, and I feel like there's options now of like if my knee is bugging me again, like I have a doctor for that, like go see him if I need to. Same with my shoulders. So I'm excited to see what happens this season with my body.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it too, especially now that you're playing with Kerri too, who we know she's got that work ethic to come back from however many, 4 shoulder surgeries? 6?
I think it's 6.
Oh my
I
God.
think,
Right?
yeah, I was reading up something with the FIVB today.
6.
The story that kind of announced
6.
Bell's partnership, and it said her 6th,
Yeah.
which is
That's insane.
so
So
many.
you guys are going to have you guys already have a great story going into the Olympics, but you're going to have an even better story with all these injuries.
Like the most surgeries.
Most surgeries
On a
record,
team.
and then Kerri's probably going to break a few more.
Yeah, right?
And whatnot. But something that comes to mind for me is like hearing about all the, last time I was on tour with you was 2015, 2016, and I don't think many people knew how bad your shoulder was going into the Olympics. And like that whole Olympic process started in 2015, and from what I remember, you guys had a really good start, right? And then it was like got a little bit rough through the middle, and end
hurt my
while
shoulder,
your
yeah.
shoulder was hurt. But you can't exactly come out and be like, my shoulder's hurt, everyone. That's why like this is really difficult for me. But only we got to see behind the scenes, like you're clearly in agony. I get to see. I saw you. Not got to. I saw you on the trainer's table, like getting worked on. It was just like coming to tears, like 'cause it hurt so much. Plus the emotions of going through that process and all that. So I just wanted to touch on that because I don't think many people know like what that was like, and then what was it like to have to play in the Olympics knowing that your body wasn't 100%? Like now everyone's gonna watch me.
Yeah.
When I'm not 100%, the rest of the time most of the world wasn't watching, right? So kind of what was that process like?
It sucked. It wasn't ideal.
Yeah.
But first I have to say, like, Lauren was the best teammate through all of that. I hurt my shoulder in June or July of 2015.
That's really early.
Yeah.
That's
The
over a
qualifying
year
process.
before
Yeah.
the Olympics.
So I just heard it at a practice, diving out. I felt something. I was like, crap,
Yeah.
I was seeing stars. I was like, that's not normal.
Right.
But finished practice the next day, and then we were on a flight to Japan for, where was that?
Yokohama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I never remember. So we went there, and by the time I got there, like, I couldn't raise my arm. Like, I was in a ton of pain. I didn't know what to do. I was like, but we have to play. Like, we have to get these finishes for Olympic qualifying. So, like, I think I had, like, a roll of tape on my shoulder, like, trying to get me through these matches. We made it to the quarterfinal match, and that's just when it was like, Lauren, I'm sorry, I cannot do anymore. We were playing April and Fatma, I think.
And it was like 110.
Yeah,
right?
like the hottest tournament, too. I was like, oh,
just
God.
to add to the pain.
Yeah. So that's kind of like when it all started, and like I think people really knew like something was wrong. But when I got back from Yokohama, that's when I had the MRI and realized like I tore my rotator cuff. So I couldn't even tell Lauren, Amy, the trainer, like had to tell her for me. I was like, this is it. Like, I'm done. Like,
Right.
you have to have surgery. You're out for 6, 7, 8 months. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. And Lauren's like, we'll figure this out. Like, she was with me like 100%. Like,
That's
I couldn't
huge.
believe it. Like,
Right.
I was like in tears. Like, that was so cool of Lauren to stick with me because it was early still. I mean, she could have tried with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we had like 2 more tournaments that season, 2 or 3 big ones. So I was like, Lauren, let's go. Let's play these. Like, I'll do what I can, then I'll get the surgery. I found a doctor that would just clean it up rather than try to repair it.
Right.
If I got it repaired, there's no chance for the Olympics. So
Right.
after those 2 events, I think one of them was in Poland, and we ended up getting a 5th in that one too. And then I think we took a 9th, maybe in the other one we played, I'm not sure. So we got some huge points from those few tournaments I played like that, and then had it cleaned up after.
And it just felt like crap the whole time.
Yeah, so it's just one of those. I mean, I played left-handed some of those tournaments,
Good
served
thing you got
underhand.
shots. Like if you were an all-power player,
right? Save me
Game over.
for sure.
Yeah.
So it's just like you want to go out there and like you know you can do something, but you're injured. You can't do it anymore. Like it sucks. And then other teams had so many chances to pass us for the Olympics.
Yeah.
But for some reason it just didn't happen. And we weren't putting up the best finishes after my surgery, but we were doing just enough to stay ahead of the next team. I think it was Emily and Jen Kessie, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Was the team below us. But yeah, for some reason we were just staying right there. And then when we did qualify, it was like, all right, like you've done this much with the hurt shoulder. Like you're going to be okay. You can do this. But going into the Olympics, I mean, it's crazy, first of all, even if you're not injured. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But being injured, it's like, all right, you've been playing on this shoulder for how long? You can do it through this tournament. It sucks that we went down there and didn't play our best volleyball. I mean, I feel like that happens to any team at any moment. You can just not have your best game. But for us to do it at the Olympics when people are finally watching the sport and like, you know, those 3 years of hard work me and Lauren put in together, like this is what people saw.
Right.
So that part of it sucked. But at the same time, it was such a cool moment. And just knowing that, holy smokes, like we were supposed to be here. Like this was our spot. I don't care what anyone says. Like we earned this spot. We're going to be here. We're going to play.
Right.
So I know people, you know, want to have trials and stuff for situations, probably just like what we did, so that it doesn't happen again.
But I mean, you finished top 16 in the world.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's pretty good in itself. So I don't know.
I agree.
Top 16 on the planet's just pretty good.
Yeah. No, I don't know. See how that's like the argument is like, oh, you need trials, so that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Like you got, obviously there was stuff that was holding you guys back at that time, but still, you were top 16 in the world, 16 team in the world for a very long span of time, even with all that. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a great argument.
I like the fact that there's no trials because I think anyone say that's like with 96 they did it was just one tournament and it was a trial.
That's really dumb.
And that's how two of the teams got in. But anyone can get hot on any given weekend. But I mean it's a 2-year process, and I think that that you have to go to Japan and China and a bunch of places that most people probably wouldn't want to go for 2 years and play on a torn rotator cuff. Like, it separates the people who actually really want it, and those who are like, because anyone can just like sign up and play on a weekend, but not anyone's going to go travel the world for 2 years. So I like that there's no trial.
Did you hear me burp? Sorry.
No, I didn't get that.
And now we have our listeners now can know.
Sorry.
If you want to rewind.
Shoot. Sorry.
You threw yourself under the bus.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you really want to do it, you have to go travel and put in the time and everything to.
Yeah, because it's so different playing against the World Tour competition. You have to go prove that. I mean, for the U.S.'s sake, in terms of us going and getting a medal, you better go prove that you can go beat those international teams because it's a completely different style of play than if we were just to play against ourselves.
Yeah.
And if some team that anyone can have one good tournament, first of all, we all know that. But I don't know. I do like the idea of having a really big premier tournament in the U.S. Like it'd be cool to have one of those, but it would be really dumb to send just
the winners from that.
2 winners from that
event. Yeah. I mean, I feel like they've talked about having like those events and it like saying it's a trials, but it only counts for like this much or this many points or something.
Points, sort of.
Yeah, like where it wouldn't really change anything.
Right.
But
that's just another way to confuse our beach volleyball fans.
Yeah, like we need more.
Oh, this is the Olympic trials. Oh, you want it, so you're going, right?
Yeah, no.
No, I'm not going. There's Olympic trials, but technically the points and you got to do all this math and and our fans are just like, yeah, okay, well, I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna bother then.
That's the other thing. Like with trials, like with my shoulder, like as soon as I heard it, I would have just like stopped and just like rehabbed and did what I did and then play in the trials, you know, like not keep going, you know, just
So it would have
things
helped
like
you,
that.
probably.
Probably would have helped, but I mean, it didn't matter. We
Yeah.
Made it anyway.
I might would have felt better going into the Olympics, but
What about like the when you look back on it, like personally, forgetting about what everyone else is looking at, like how do you feel about like what you accomplished during that time, knowing how hard it was for you personally? Like that's got to be a pretty huge accomplishment.
yeah, for sure. I mean, a little girl from Estero, Florida, like going to the Olympics through beach volleyball.
Yeah.
I started playing after college. It's not like I like grew up playing beach volleyball. Like
Yeah.
we went to like my dad's rock quarry in the summer and like worked and did this. It wasn't like, you know, beach volleyball summers and growing up on the beach. So it's not something I ever dreamed of either. It's not like, you know, this is what I want to do. I didn't know what beach volleyball was.
Right.
So I feel like it's just been God's path for my life and being diligent to that and trusting his plan because when I started playing beach volleyball, I would come out here for like U26 stuff or something and be like, I'm never living in California. I'm not moving out there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then here I am in 2012, I made the move out here. So I just feel like it's just been these little things that like I've had to like check off. Like God's like, we're going here. Are you sure? Like, yeah, we're going here. So it's just being diligent in that and following his plan and trusting it. And going to the Olympics, losing all 3 sets sucked, but it happened for a reason. I might not ever know that reason, but I'm trusting that there's something that's going to come out of that. Like right now, it's motivation.
Yeah.
Not just to get back to the Olympics, but to win.
Right.
So it's serving a purpose for my life right now. But it is something I'm proud of, and it's hard to look back on still.
Yeah.
Because you put in so many years of hard work to go down there and just not make it out of pool. And granted, we did have the hardest pool there. We had, you know, a Polish team that was pretty good, and then the number 1 team in the world with Larissa, and then a Russian team. So we had to be on our game all 3 matches to get out of pool, and we weren't. So sucky, but it was such a cool experience to be down there, like walking in opening ceremony. That was cool. Yeah. I was like talking to my family who all went down there to watch their opening ceremony, trying to tell them where I was. Like, I'm here. They never saw me, but it's pretty cool, like hanging out with the basketball players and watching Lauren like fangirl over all the basketball players. It was so much fun.
Don't listen, Andrew.
Taking selfies
He was
from
taking
afar.
the pictures.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
No, just kidding. But it's a really neat experience, and to be down there with the best athletes from the U.S., something I'll remember and cherish forever.
Yeah.
And representing the United States, like, holy smokes, like, we're the coolest nation on earth. Like, I don't care what's going on right now. We are the coolest nation on earth. Like, it's such an honor to represent the U.S. So it's something that I'm proud of, and wish it went different, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So it's life.
I feel like nobody remembers anything past like 5th anyway. Right?
Yeah, right?
You're not first, you're last.
like
or
that.
top 3, I should say, at the Olympics.
If you're not on the podium, yeah.
Yeah.
True.
You guys, like, you did push Larissa and Toledo, too. I mean, how was, because I feel like, you know, you talked about that you didn't perform that well, but that was the number 1 team in the world that you guys took pretty close, like in the 3rd set, deep into it. So you couldn't have played that bad.
No, I didn't.
Come on, where's your...
We took a set there, right?
No.
He's trying to help
Oh, man.
I know.
Your stats are off.
I know.
But we went-
Usually that's like the one thing I got.
We went 3 with Poland and with Russia.
Okay.
Okay.
It definitely could have gone either way, but
Yeah, so that easily
I think
could've
like
turned
Russia
into...
was like 17-15 in the 3rd or 16-14. It was 2 points, I think. I still haven't gone back and watched any of it, so.
And how often, like, are you, like, on the brink of, like, not making it out of your pool and getting dead last, and then you end up, like, on the podium? Or, like, that's your best tournament, you know?
That actually happened 2013 in Berlin with Fatma. Like, almost not making it out of pool, like, and down like few points in the third set, and we had to win this to make it out of pool. And then we win it and we make it out of pool, and then had the toughest road through playoffs, but made it all the way to the bronze medal match and won. But it's just so crazy, like it can change like that, like
happens.
So me and Lauren, we were still like, we got this, like we were still believing, like, because anything can happen.
Just
unfortunately, it happened for Russia.
Yeah.
And not us.
The good news is you got to hang out more and experience the Olympics. I don't know if you're in a good enough mood, or did you bail and go home?
I stayed in my room for like 2 days, and then I went home. I did go to like the Oakley house and a few of the houses for a little bit, but it just sucked being there. Like, it wasn't just make it to the Olympics. That's not what we wanted to do. Like, we wanted to get there and play good volleyball and win, but we didn't do that, so I was in a bad mood, and I left.
Well, you're sitting in a pretty good position now with your current partner, and you're both healthy, both have the work ethic to stay healthy, and that's going to be
hopefully.
I mean, things are looking up, you know. The potential is there to fulfill that dream for sure.
Yeah.
That's exciting for us to watch, at least. Yeah. Hopefully I'm there with you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. What a good story that'd be.
Yeah, we'd have good stories all around. NBC, we got plenty for you to plenty of stories for you to create. And for you.
Yeah, I'm just piggybacking on you.
You can write them.
I really root for you, so I can just follow you around.
We're gonna take the Sandcast set. We gotta buy some real estate in Tokyo.
Nick, where are you?
Yeah, exactly. We gotta get Nick on it.
Yeah, cool.
How'd the partner search go? Like when you were hurt, and then how did it end up going? Like getting with Kerri and moving forward from there.
Well, when I got hurt in Fort Lauderdale, like me and Summer were talking, and we came back out here. I saw my doctor and Chad and everyone, and it just came one of those things like take a few days off, take a week off, take a few days off. And so I wasn't practicing, and I'm like, kept telling Summer, I was like, I can't practice. And then like she called me, she's like, look, Sarah asked me to play. I'm just going to play with her. Like, your shoulder scares me. It's like, I get it. And that's such a Summer way to do it. Like, your shoulder scares me. Like, it scares me too, Summer. Like, I don't know.
That was the wording, huh?
Your shoulder scares me. Yeah, so, like, I don't blame her whatsoever. Like, I didn't know what was going on, and obviously Sarah's a great player, so that happened, and I kept doing my rehab and trying to figure out what I'm doing. Like, you have a torn rotator cuff, like, you can strengthen it for a few months, see if it helps. If not, let's get surgery. So that was kind of how that happened. I ended up playing Huntington because surgery was scheduled, like, right after Huntington. So he's like, play it, and then surgery the next day. So that's what happened. Ooh. Yeah.
Next day.
Yeah. Well, we were out on Saturday, had surgery Monday.
Oh, okay.
2 days.
Day after the tournament.
Yeah.
But, like, no time really to, like, let the inflammation go out.
Yeah, just get in there, doc. Like, let's go. Wow. So, yeah, and then I didn't know if I was coming back to play. I didn't know what was happening. I know it's a hard surgery to come back from for overhead athletes. But like you said earlier, thankfully I'm not a power player.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what I was doing, but I was talking to Kerri on the phone, and it just, like, she's like, oh, I'm kind of looking for a partner. I was like, well, I guess I would need a partner too if I was coming back.
I'm a partner.
Yeah, so she's like, let's get on the sand. I was like, okay, so when I'm ready, let's get on the sand. So we did, and yeah, now we're here.
That's awesome.
I like it.
Yeah.
Two very different partners in Summer to Kerri.
Oh, yeah.
You have Summer, like this young up-and-comer, and then now you have Kerri, who is the most decorated beach volleyball player ever. How is the dynamic shift between that?
With Summer, we had a coach for a little bit, and then we finished 2017 without a coach. So it was like me and Summer, like, just doing our own thing, like, trying to figure things out. And then I go with Kerri, and there's like 4 or 5 coaches at every practice. It's like, bam, bam, bam. This is what we're doing. Here's our plan. Like, we're sticking to it. So it's just, I think that's what Kerri serves, like, you know, like this is Kerri, how she operates, and she's the best in the world for a reason, and so I trust like what she has in place and just going with it. But I mean, yeah, like you said, it's just completely different. Like me and Summer, like just completely on our own. And then we found Jackson just out of the blue somehow. We found Jackson and he was great. And obviously his style is different than the Brazilian style. So I think when we got Jackson, like things started turning for me and Summer. And I feel like Summer really grew a ton in the time that we played together, as a person, as a player. So I was really happy to see her progress and for her to move on and be in a good spot moving on.
Now she's got her own Brazilian coach.
Now she's got her own Brazilian coaches.
Brazilians are taking over U.S. volleyball.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, right? But yeah, completely different. But at the same time, like Summer still wanted to win. She really, as like much as it didn't come off that way, like she wanted to win. And Kerri obviously is a winner and is doing everything she can to win. Kerri's a hard worker. Like I like try to always be like the hardest worker at practices. Like no one's gonna outwork me, but like Kerri really gives me a run for my money. Like at practice, she might outwork me a little bit, but it's neat to be around like that mentality and to see what she's been doing all these years to be the best and what it takes, and to be around it every single day. Like it's not like she's like this one day, you know, it's every single day and all the stuff she's doing. So it's just, it's incredible to see what she's been doing for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like Summer's so good, and it's,
she's more going off instincts and just like, I just show up and I ball.
Yeah, exactly. It's more a laid back approach, I think, where Kerri's very hands-on and on top of it.
Almost opposite.
Yeah, right? It works both ways
it works
for them.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's been fun. I've gotten to play with a lot of different things, and, you know, just whatever works. I mean, everyone's different.
Yeah.
What was it, 2013 AVP that you played against Kerri in like 5 straight finals?
Ooh. Yes. 2013.
And so, which coincidentally 1 year after you moved to California, so it must the decision to move must have worked out pretty well.
I think it was 2014. I was playing with Lauren. Yeah, 2013 I played with Fatma, and I got my first AVP win with Fatma, and then the next year I was playing with Lauren. And 5 out of the 7 tournaments, I think we were in the finals against Kerri in April.
And they won what, 6 or 7?
Yeah.
Or all 7?
They won all of them.
They won all of them.
Yeah. We took them to maybe 3 times, but just never could finish them off. But it was always fun playing against them. Like, those are always fun battles, for sure.
When you were playing against Kerri, like, were you ever like, gosh, like, if I could play with her, like, that would be, like, did that cross your mind? And then here we are, like, now you are playing with her.
You know, I don't know if it crossed my mind at the moment. Like, here's Kerri, you know, like...
Right.
You know, I just want to be on the court playing against her. Like, she's going to make me better. Like, I never thought, like, I would be playing with Kerri.
Right.
Like, no.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool, to be in this position right now. Especially after not knowing if I was going to be playing ever again. So it's kind of neat that she took a chance, really, on me.
Yeah.
Did you, like, start to explore, like, other avenues that what you might do is, say, if your shoulder doesn't come back?
You mean like have babies?
Either that or just like look into, because I know that like beach volleyball players usually have a backup plan.
Babies is my backup plan. That's it. Once I'm finished playing, I'm moving back to Florida. We're building a house right now. And I want to have a family. You know, I thought maybe the family would be starting this year or last year when I had my surgery, but God's got different plans right now. I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to take it really one day at a time, because I just never know what's going to happen. But when I am finished, I'm going back to Florida and hopefully starting a family I don't want
Congrats
to
on the house
coach.
ahead of time. That's awesome.
Not really into like coaching or doing any of that right now. Maybe when I get back to Florida and there's opportunities, like
Everyone's
we'll
got their
see.
price, people.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have a plan.
Yeah.
It's the way we tend to do it, I feel
Yeah,
like,
right?
right? Most beach volleyball players.
Winging it.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
just
wing
playing.
it.
Yeah.
How tough was it to leave Florida? Because I know that I always said that I was never leaving Maryland, and I've been gone. Every time I go home, everybody's like, "Listen, there's cheap houses whenever you're
Right?
ready." And I know that. I mean, was it super difficult to leave Florida? And then, I mean, you've been here for a while now. Like, how
I
difficult?
don't think
has that
any of
been?
us wanted to be in Cali.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
pretty
true.
damn nice here, I will say, but
It's not
All
home.
three of us.
it's not home, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard. I mean, we just packed up my car and drove. And like I have 2 older brothers, a little sister. Pretty much everyone's there in Florida. My parents, grandparents, everyone. So, and we're a really close family. Actually, my sister lives like right behind my parents on some acreage, and then we're building on some acreage right there. So like, we're all within like a walking distance of
That's
each
so
other.
rad.
So we're like really close. So it's so hard to leave. I didn't leave for college. I mean, I went to college in my backyard. So
How did you do that?
well, kind of.
In your okay, not literally in your backyard.
Well, for out there, it's like back.
Got it,
You
got
know,
Country.
in my backyard.
Got it. I was picturing like out back in the barn. I was like, it's like home college, like homeschool.
I would have loved that, but no, I had to drive up the road a little bit.
Okay. Just
yeah.
wanted to clarify that for everyone.
Thanks. But yeah, it's so tough. But you know, my family like completely supported me, and I think that made it a little easier. California is not a bad place to be if you're not going to be home.
Right.
It's not like we're, Chicago getting, blasted with snow this week.
-10.
Yeah. So, even
No
though I do
offense.
love Chicago.
It's not like being in Maryland or something.
Yeah, that's
My
better.
brother sent me a screenshot of the weather. It was 5 degrees. So I was like, it was like 3-mile-an-hour winds
I
here,
don't
so
know.
it's pretty inconvenient.
I'm not even sure if I've ever felt single digits.
Ugh,
I don't think I've
it's
ever
brutal.
felt it.
After a certain point, it's all the
Maybe-
same. Like from 15 to 5, like it's just cold. Like you just don't want to be outside.
The only cold I had been in when I was little was when I went in the walk-in freezer at Costco. I would sneak in there, and I could see my breath. I thought it was the coolest thing.
You are so Hawaii.
It's like Cool Runnings.
No, we have a place
Try
called
it. Mom, look.
like behind the milk. Or I guess the milk's not in the freezer, but you know what I
Wow.
mean. The Go-Gurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
true story.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so left Florida, but
Got it.
yeah, they all support me and still do. My family, my parents travel to a lot of
Yeah, we
tournaments.
get to see them a bunch on the road.
Harv and
Yep.
Renee. So I'm really lucky that they get to do that. They'll be
Yeah.
in Australia.
Wow, yeah.
So.
That's
We're
a far
really making
one.
the trip.
And how about Nick?
He'll be there.
He'll be there? Nice.
I always tease him. He's like always on vacation. Like he
Yeah.
goes to like so many events. He works hard though for
He's just
events,
waiting for the schedule to come out. Where's my vacations this year?
but That's him and my dad for sure.
Tell him, hey, come on out to China and all these other spots.
I told him, I was like, you can't go anywhere else unless you come to like China and
Yeah,
all
you
these
gotta
other
go to the
events.
tough
But
ones.
they haven't been there yet.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be in Rome this year.
Yeah, Stad. And
Yep, Stad.
yeah.
Yep,
I think they probably already have things booked like
of course.
crazy. Yeah.
Like, they didn't even ask you if you're going.
Yeah. I was like,
Oh, we
you
don't know
know,
what
I
you're-
got to get into that tournament still.
Well, I'm gonna be in. Yeah, that's true. huh?
Seriously.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It's good they have confidence in you.
They'll probably go anyways.
Right, yeah. True.
Yeah.
How far away are you from Florida Gulf Coast?
Like 10 minutes.
Okay. And then was it pretty cool to start the volleyball team though? Because were you the very first volleyball player? Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. At that moment, though, I didn't know if I was going to be able to play because of my knee surgeries and stuff. So the coach was just kind of giving me a chance. Like, if you can play, like, love to have you here and pioneer this here for us. So that was a real honor. And we were D2 when I started. It was just so much fun because like the team was basically my club team. A lot of girls just stayed home. Like we lived on campus. We had really cool housing right there on campus. We have a lake on campus. You can go like wakeboarding, tubing. Like
Dang.
it's such a cool campus. So I was like, why would we leave? Like
Yeah.
we love it here.
Totally.
So it was basically all my friends from club, and we just had a really good time. And thankfully I did eventually get to play. So it was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
Staying
You
home.
were outside?
Outside. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was fun. I think that's where my, knee issues started. But I mean, I loved playing outside.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'd maybe cut it for a libero.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of short for that too. But yeah, it was a good time. And it was like just so much fun to be able to play outside. D2 is just like perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Do
So.
every skill.
Yeah, it was just a ton of fun. So.
When did beach enter the picture then?
So I started dating Nick my junior year, sophomore year, something. In 2005, yeah. And he has a twin brother, and they would play beach all the time. They would come out here for like AAUs when they were growing up. So they just kept playing for fun, and I would go out and I'd just watch them play, and then I would like try to play, and I was terrible. I was like, yeah, no, not for me. So I went back to just watching, and then kind of when I graduated, I was like, all right, I want to try this again. And that's when it became a challenge, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. Like, and I started dragging Nick out to the courts, like, teach me how to do a cut shot, like, teach me how to do this, teach me how to do that. Like, I didn't know what anything was. So he was like teaching me all these things, and then just started playing like Dig the Beach tournaments. I played with Kendra Van Sweden for a while, and then like Kristen.
Scrappy team.
Yeah, we had so much fun.
Because she had a late start to beach too, right?
Yeah, she didn't play in college either. Yeah, we were both just winging it. She had to teach me what like blocking signals were at our first tournament. Like I didn't know, and I was blocking. I was like, sorry. But we had a ton of fun, and then like I played with Kristen Batt, and that's kind of when I started like exploring AVPs and doing all that. So just kind of all started with Dig the Beaches back in and East End volleyball back in Florida.
That must be crazy for Nick to have seen you go from like from it
Terrible.
being his hobby
Yeah.
to you being like, yeah, I'll try it. Nah, this isn't that cool. And then you asking him to teach you, and then you being an Olympian.
Yeah. He's like, it's all my fault.
Yeah.
Like, I never see you. It's all my fault. Like, this was my fault getting you into this. But yeah, I think I know he's really proud of me, and it's cool to see him be happy for me. Totally. And it's cool that he was part of the process, you know. Yeah. I don't think I'd be here if it like wasn't for him. Like,
he's into it. We love having him on the road. He's psyched for matches in the stands, just psyched the whole time.
He loves it. He loves it. He loves like cheering on the guys and like pretending to be one of the guys. You know, he loves it. Because he played AAUs and stuff, but that was kind of it, and it was over. So I think he's like living through us.
He's on the world tour. Just not playing, but
yeah, for
I like
sure.
it.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. Like, it's really cool that he got me started. Yeah. And it's like still right there by my side.
Totally.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
When did it like take on the role of like the full-time job? Because I know with beach it's very slow progression into that role. So you had your first main draw in 2009-ish?
Sounds right. I don't know. I know I played like 10 qualifiers or something before I qualified for the first time. But when I moved out here in 2012, it was one of those things like, I really want to do this. Like, I'm going to put everything towards this. So moved out here, and luckily Jen Fatma, who is already like made a name for herself, people knew who she was, like picked me up, and we did pretty good like from the start. and we were able to get our foot into FIVB stuff, and and just climb the ranks like in the USA system, and that really helps once you get that support. So when I moved out here in 2012, I didn't have a job or anything. Nick was working, so he supported us through those tougher times, like, you know, when you're not qualifying and when things aren't happening. But it was my decision, 2012, like, this is going to be my full-time job. I don't care if I'm making money or not. This is going to be my full-time job. Like, this is it. I'm moving to California to really do it.
I feel like you have to do it that way. You know, if you actually want to go all the way up, it's like,
yeah, you can't have like one foot in.
Yeah, you can't, because you're just not going to climb the ranks that way. You have to just go. Yeah. Not everyone's lucky enough to, you know, be able to, like, I had financial support from when I played indoor. So I had like a cushion of like maybe a year or so where I was okay. But a lot of people don't have that. As if you want to learn about that, you can read about it in Travis's book.
I love diving into stories like that. I think just like how it comes about, because especially like with guys, like there's no route to beach volleyball. But then, I mean, you and Kendra have a similar path, which is like, oh, this looked fun after college, and then here we are, an Olympian, and Kendra's won a few. So,
and we live together.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Can't get rid of each other. Yeah.
The scrappiest house of volleyball players.
Oh, yeah.
Steve lives with us too. Steve
Wow.
and Tina. Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah. Yep. And are you like, what's the feeling of sort of when a tournament's coming up? Are you like nervous, excited to see just how everything holds up again?
Yeah. I'm not so nervous. Like, I know I'm doing everything I can for my body to be the best it can be. So that's something I'm trying to just kind of let go and just know, like, that's it. Like, if something happens, like, it's out of my control. So I'm kind of on, like, the excited boat. Like, I am, like, excited to be playing, you know, after not knowing last year, like, what was going on. So I'm just thankful to get another opportunity to play, and each tournament that we get to play is just, you know, really cool. And I get to play with Kerri, and, you know, last Olympic qualification, like, it was so stressful. Like, that was my first time going through it, and it's, like, you can really beat yourself up, like, crunching numbers and, like, watching how everyone else is doing, and so this year, or this qualification, I'm just, you know, kind of like sitting back, and I'm like working my butt off and doing everything I can. If that's enough, that's enough. If it's not, it's not. So I just want to have fun and just enjoy every tournament, enjoy the places we get to go to. I think I'm realizing, like, you're not going to get to do this forever. Like, right. You know, I'm not going to get to travel the world, like, and go see these awesome places. So I just want to take it all in, and if I am playing for 5 more years, I want to take it all in every single time I go somewhere, and every chance I get to step on the court. I'm still having so much fun playing, and I'm not ready to stop. So, just gonna soak it up.
And you mentioned that, like, practicing with Kerri has been different in that, like, now you have to really work to be the hardest worker at practice. How about competing? What's it like being on the same side of the net as her, just in competition and in timeouts?
You know, she just makes plays, and it's cool to be on that side of the net with her rather than the other side. But she's so competitive, but she is so calm and cool, collected, and, like, in Vegas and Mexico when I wasn't 100%, she was so supportive, and, like, yeah, we want to win, but, like, didn't get, like, pissy with me, didn't, you know, nothing like that. Like, and she takes accountability for her stuff. You know, it's not just all pushed on me. Like, you know, she tries to take some of it away. So it's just really cool playing with someone like that, that tries to take the pressure off of you. Doesn't try to do too much, though. Just, she's got it. She's, like, so even-keeled. It's easy to play with someone like that.
Yeah. I feel like it's really valuable that both of you can empathize what it's like not to play at 100%, and that you know that, like, I know there's not much you can do right now. Just like
Yeah.
it's really just effort and, like you said, controlling what you can control.
For sure. It's really cool playing with her. Like, well, it's not cool that she's had 6 surgeries on her shoulder, but she knows what I'm going through and what and what it takes to come back. Like, not just physically, but mentally. There's so much that goes into it, and you can really like trip yourself up, like on the mental side. So coming back from it, I definitely like leaned on her, and I was like asking her a ton of questions, like, were you like this? Were you like this? Did this happen? Did you feel like this? Like, so it's been cool, like having that communication with her, and just her kind of guiding me through coming back from a surgery like that.
I know that, like, physically, when you have an injury going to practice or a tournament or whatever, obviously it's tough because it hurts. But I feel like mentally, too, it's really tough to motivate yourself to go to practice or a tournament when you know that it's just going to hurt. So, I mean, like, you have to be one of the more mentally tough people I've ever met, and that you just, like, keep grinding. How do you sort of do those little Jedi mind tricks and you're just like, we're just going to practice today and it's going to suck a little bit?
Yeah. I don't really know, like, because it's not fun, like you said, but I feel like you just have to do it. Like, if you want something enough, like, you'll do whatever it takes. And I feel like I wasn't, like, making things worse by going to practice. Like, it hurt, but I knew nothing was getting worse just by doing it. Mm-hmm. So I knew I could do it. Like, honestly, every morning I get up, I'm like, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but you can get me through this.
Right.
You know, like, that was what I was saying, like, every day. Like, because there's some days, like, it hurts to walk. It hurts, like, lift my arm, you know? So it's just, like, I can't do it, but he can do it. So I think that's, like, my faith played a big role in all of that, for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
I feel like it helps a lot, too, to, like, break it down to, like, just one day.
Yeah.
Let's just get through today. Because I'll have practices where I'm like, you know, those things pop into your head, like, oh, how am I going to feel physically? Is my body telling me something right now? Like I'm not supposed to go practice? And you're like, all right, I'll just go have one practice. Even if I feel bad, it's okay. And then you have, like, a great practice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, whoa.
Right.
All right. Tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen, but I'm going to just go get through it. You have a bad one, but then the next day is good, you know? So if you buy into it every day, buy into how you feel, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're just like, I'm just going to try one more day.
Yeah.
One more day. Then
Yeah.
I feel like you can, like, add up an entire year. Or however long.
Short-term thinking, for sure,
Yeah.
when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll be like, I'm feeling like this now. Like, what about in 10 days? Like, after 10 practices, how am I going to feel? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, like, it's hard to not buy into that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like you said, keeping it just day to day.
Yeah.
Like, do what you can that day.
Yeah.
I think that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, stoked that you're feeling better and that you'll be out there again pretty soon. That's awesome.
And what's the plans for? Are you guys gonna be playing AVP? I know we don't have many options. You know, there's a lot of conflicts this year. But what's your guys' plans? AVP, P1440, all that.
I don't think Kerri's gonna play AVP.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna try to play the ones that don't overlap.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll fly back. I think there's like a few that like are in between some European FIVBs. I don't know if I'll fly back for those or not, but the ones that don't overlap that are kind of easier, I want to play for sure. I miss playing. Like, I think it's so important to have like the strong domestic tour and getting those reps when you can.
Totally.
So I'll play 1440. I'll play whatever. Like, I just want to play.
Right.
So yeah, I got to find someone to play AVPs with. Someone that's cool, just, you know, playing a few tournaments and not really being able to train. So we'll see what happens with that. But
I'm sure you'll have some options.
We'll see.
For
We'll
sure.
see. So I got to kind of throw that out there to some people and see.
See when Lauren's due date is. You can get her back up.
May? How many months? Are you ready by July? Lauren,
you're fine. Get out here.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I like it.
Well, I know we've taken up a fair amount of your time here tonight. We appreciate you coming on to our new studio overlooking the pier.
I love the spot.
Yeah,
this is so
fun.
nice. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Still light up.
You're lucky it's a good day. It's a nice day. It was raining last week.
Did catch it on a good
Waves
day.
are pretty good too.
good one.
I love it.
And, we do have one question we ask every guest at the end of the show, and that is, if you had one piece of advice to give to an up-and-coming beach volleyball player, what would that piece of advice be?
Oh man, there's so much. Like if I could tell myself like when I first started, but okay, there might be a few. I feel like you have to trust yourself. A lot of people have opinions, and if you listen to all these other opinions, you're gonna go crazy. Trust yourself. Find someone that you can really trust and have open conversations with, and don't let other people get you down. Don't let other people really influence your thoughts and your decisions. You gotta, if you want something, go for it. But trust yourself. Don't let other people influence you. And then, yeah, I'll just stick with that.
All right, we can stick with that. Well, thanks again for coming
Yeah,
on.
thank
Looking
you.
forward to seeing what you guys do these next 2 years and push for Tokyo.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
Shoots.
Cool.